This programme contains flashing images.
Welcome back to the O2. Just to let you know, if you want the fully immersive Fight Night experience, you can see the highlights of tonight's action in 360 on BT Sports YouTube channel. The main event then is upon us. David Hay, Richie Woodall and Steve Bunce looking forward to Martin Murray against Roberto Garcia. Buncey, maybe start with you, because for those that have joined us late, obviously this is a late-ish change from what Martin Murray had trained for months for, and Billy Joe Saunders pulled out twice, and now Martin's got the awkward scenario of taking a fight with a guy who fights very differently to Billy Joe.
Yeah, 7 months of training camps, and we heard Carl Frampton talking earlier on to Ronald McIntosh. They've been up at altitude on Mount Teide on Tenerife, extensive and very arduous camps, specialised camps in Manchester. One fight falls through, then a second fight falls through, and he finds out about them through back channels, and that also is a pain in it. So that's not good. So the last time he finds out there's a little bit of bad blood between him and Billy Joe Saunders. This guy comes in, a really respectable opponent. Had it been this guy originally, perfectly fine fight. This guy comes in at fairly short notice. Obviously, he's nothing like Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders' fairly unique style. But the crazy thing, and the alarming thing, you can see him in there just warming up. The thing that I find alarming about this is that Martin Murray insists that he's okay mentally. Well, I've been around fighters for too many years. It crushes you, it gets to you. And I can tell you now, Jamie Moore and Nigel Travis and the rest of that team, they just wanted to get through this fight with a win. It's that simple.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a crossroads moment for Martin Murray, obviously not getting any younger. 4 title shots already, Richie, and you've had a look at the natural weights of the two men. That might be a factor tonight.
Yeah, I think it will be. If you look at his opponent Garcia, he's not really a middleweight. If this contest was made at light middle, super welter, then it would be much more competitive, I believe, because Martin Murray is one of the biggest middleweights out there. He's a huge middleweight. In fact, I was quite concerned looking at him on the scales yesterday. He looked a little bit gaunt, but you know, fighters do. But he's a big man at middleweight. This opponent of his, he's used to winning. I think he's only lost one contest since about 2004, so on a run of about 27, 28 contests. So he's a winner. He's come here to win, but he's a lot. He normally boxes at super welter, light middle. He's not really a middleweight, and that's my only concern for him. I think Martin Murray will be too big. There's an old saying, a good big un beats a good little.
There is indeed that saying. Now listen, as a good big un yourself, you had the odd press conference, the odd weigh-in where there was a bit of pushing and shoving. Sometimes it's part of the sell. It certainly happened yesterday. Is that just part of the game, or?
It is part of the game, and I think it shows the mindset of Garcia. He hasn't come over here as the opponent. In his mind, you know, he holds a title. He's the guy who, his team also are pretty pumped up, but he's coming to win. He hasn't really had to worry about making the weight for this fight. You know, a lot of fighters coming on short notice. The issue is, have you got enough time in training camp to get down to the weight? I'm telling you, Murray probably needs 12 weeks to boil his body down to make the middleweight limit. You know, Garcia, he could probably walk straight onto the scales. He's fresh, he's hydrated, and he will have 12 rounds in the tank. I think he's a good opponent. In terms of a last-minute opponent, it's a great opponent. He would have been a good opponent anyway. Yeah. But as a last-minute opponent, Garcia's come into the ring with nothing to lose. No one here is expecting him to do anything. He's got everything to gain and nothing to lose. So a man like that is a very difficult guy to beat.
Yeah, it's not Billy Joe Saunders, but it is a tough opponent. Mexican-born, raised in Mexico, now based in Texas, but he comes in with his belt and hoping to end Martin Murray's career. It is kind of that moment for Martin Murray. Does he go forwards or does he turn away from boxing? Let's find out. The two men are ready. Here's Thomas Driver.
Ladies and gentlemen, live on BT Sport, and we welcome those of you watching on ESPN+. Let's now welcome to the ring our main event participants. First, the challenger from right here, England, Martin Murray.
building my whole world around you. Like a little hoping that you and I can make it on through. But something went wrong. We loved each other, we just couldn't get along. Look at me.
Tough man, Martin Murray. In many ways, a fighter's fighter. Strong, committed, and he'd say he's done it all really without big support. He's done it from the wrong side of the bill. A hard man. And he's been promised if he comes through this, there will be more big fights in the offing. They've even talked about a rematch with Gennady Golovkin. Was supposed to have been Billy Joe Saunders, not to be, and so it's to be Roberto Garcia. Murray now 35 years old. And yesterday at the weigh-in, for the first time that I've seen, he really lost composure a little bit, lost his temper with Roberto Garcia. And maybe just an indication of the sort of stress that he's been under with the change of opponent and the cancellations, and at last being here against an opponent who's come here clearly very strong, very committed, who genuinely believes that he can put one over on Martin Murray. We'll see.
And now let's welcome to the ring the defending champion, coming to us from the United States of America, Roberto La Amenaza Garcia!
Like Martin Murray, Roberto Garcia says boxing saved him from a life of crime. And he says that this is his chance, even at 38 years of age, to change his life. Came across from Mexico as a boy to Houston, brought up by his grandmother and grandfather. He was another one who showed signs of going off the rails, but he got it back. He's had it tough. Now married, fighting for his children, for his family. And you only need to talk to him for a minute or two to know that this man is one very, very tough cookie indeed. Well, you see there the difference in stature. Martin Murray, a genuine 6-footer, height advantage and a bit of a reach advantage as well. But how much has he had to boil himself down to make that middleweight limit? He did, as ever, look a little bit drawn at the weigh-in, and maybe that fiery reaction when Garcia got into his face was indicative of another fact, that he has found it so difficult to make that weight. Jamie Murray alongside him. Roberto Garcia with James Palon. He's ready to go. It could turn out to be a very good fight indeed, this one. 12-rounder for the WBC Silver Middleweight Championship. There's the belt. That's what it's all about. You've heard enough from me. Let's get the formal introductions in the ring now and join once again our Master of Ceremonies, Thomas Treiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for our featured bout. It is scheduled for 12 rounds and will be for the WBC Silver Middleweight Championship. Brought to you by Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry Promotions, along with their great sponsors, 32 red, and Foot Asylum. It is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, steward in charge, Mick Collier, along with the World Boxing Council. President, Mauricio Suleiman. Supervisor, Simon Block. Our 3 judges scoring on a 10-point must system will be John Kane of England, Predrag Alexic of Montenegro, and Francisco Agosta of Spain. When the bell rings, our referee in charge, third man in the ring, will be Hector Afu of Panama. And now, ladies and gentlemen, live from the O2 Arena here in London, England, the time has arrived. This is our main event of the evening. Introducing to you first the challenger fighting tonight out of the blue corner. He's wearing white with blue and weighed in at 11 stone, 5 pounds. His professional record consists of 36 wins, 4 defeats, 1 draw, with 17 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the former WBA interim middleweight champion of the world, and he is the fighting pride of St. Helens, England, Martin Murray! And his opponent across the ring in this main event, he is the defending champion, fighting tonight out of the red corner. He comes to the ring wearing red with blue and white and weighed in at 11 stone, 4 pounds. Coming to us from West Laco, Texas, USA. He is a native of Reynosa, Tamaulipas, Mexico. And he brings a professional record consisting of 41 wins, 3 defeats, 1 no contest, with 24 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the reigning and defending WBC Silver Middleweight Champion, Roberto La Amenaza Garcia!
Well, that's the first time that they've been face-to-face since Martin Murray was pushing across the stage at yesterday's weigh-in. A little bit more guarded and a bit more measured there. What sort of a fight are we going to have? We know that Garcia is the sort of typical Mexican-style fighter who keeps on coming. He's strong, he's rugged, he'll try and carry it to Murray.
Well, he's the sort of fighter really should be suited for Martin Murray. You know, shorter, will come right at him in straight lines. So Martin, you know, should be able to move around or boxing quite comfortably. It's just if he can cope with the pressure as the rounds go on.
He was a welterweight earlier in his career, Garcia. You go back to 2010 for his last defeat. And that was against Antonio Margarito, who could fight a bit.
Just a bit.
Panamanian referee might have an interesting time of it in the early stages. Roberto Garcia won this belt by going to Mexico and outpointing quite clearly Omar Chavez, son of Julio Cesar Chavez, who'd been a big favourite to win that fight. And Garcia that shows that I'm not here just to make up the numbers. I've won that belt against the odds and I mean to keep it.
The hands go there as soon as Martin Murray just sat on the ropes. Garcia was right on him.
Murray's had a long and hard career. Tonight in his 42nd professional fight.
Took another body shot there, Murray, but he's doing well with the long straight shots, is Martin Murray.
Could be one of those fights where it's a little bit of what takes your fancy. up-close work maybe coming in from Garcia, and the relentless march forward, and the work a little bit more from range from Martin Murray. '12-rounder sort of fight which could have some significant twists and turns. I think what would be a shock would be if it went short.
Yeah.
Martin Murray had those fights against the likes of Felix Sturm, against Sergio Martinez, when he felt that he was on the wrong end of bad decisions, and he may well have a point. But that was then, this is now. Garcia early, little word of admonishment from referee Hector Afu.
It's good there from Murray. But Garcia keeping a nice tight defence. Not enough weight on it to trouble Garcia.
Good work from Garcia. Walking him down, and when he gets into range, into his chest, letting those punches go.
Lovely hook off the jab there from Martin Murray.
Quality that, wasn't it?
Interesting round, John.
Yeah, tight round.
It wasn't that, no. The round we
well,
had
it was a tight opening round. I think you could have made an argument either way as to how it went.
Yeah, and I thought Murray did the better work, you know, from the centre of the ring. I think Garcia pushed him back and worked away. I think Murray kept his elbows tucked in nice and tight.
Corners, 10 seconds. Second out, round 2.
Interesting opening round, and not a lot in it as we move into the second of this 12-rounder here at the O2 Arena on the Greenwich Peninsula, on the banks of the Thames here in London. Protest from Garcia that was a push from Murray, and the referee agrees. He said, let's see you throwing a punch with that left-hand lead. Support ringing out for Martin Murray.
To be fair to Garcia, he's blocking most of the shots here from Murray. I think they're going to get Garcia there for the head.
Well, I suggested that the referee could be a busy man in the early stages of this fight, and that might just be the beginning of it.
I actually think it was about punching on the waist of Murray.
It's good. Nice variety from Murray.
Just can't sit on the ropes too much, Martin Murray. That's and allow Garcia to unload. Needs to be a constantly moving target, throwing and moving away.
Quite heavy-handed, Garcia. 24 of his stoppage wins have come by 24 of his 41 wins have come by stoppage. And he does look ready to let those gloves fly when he gets into range.
He's just a bit more head movement coming forward here, Garcia. Make Murray look for that target with that jab.
That's nice work from Murray. No great power in the shots, but good variety.
Yeah, and he's doing it in the centre of the ring where it's clear at the sea, and that might be the difference in some of these closer rounds.
Body shots again. One from Garcia was low. And
Second
the
time.
Yeah, the ref's going to have a word about that, and he might be taking a point away. He is. Point's gone. Point taken away. Low punches. He can't afford to be doing that so early in the fight.
He's not happy with the referee, Garcia.
Well, it was clearly low, Barry. I mean, there's no argument about it. Maybe he would argue it's a little bit, what should we say, harsh, draconian, I don't know, tough.
Feels like he needs to put the pressure on a bit more now, Garcia. That's lovely work though from Murray.
Good work from Martin Murray, and the point deduction for Roberto Garcia. Roberto Garcia still chuntering away in that corner about the low blows, but there's no argument. I mean, that was clear.
They were clear, and they've done it a few times. I just don't know whether they wanted maybe a public warning so early. I'm not quite sure how many times. I've seen him clearly warn Garcia once.
Round 3.
Well, the upshot of all that, close opening round, which might have gone either way, I guess, but you've scored that one for Martin Murray the first round. The second one's going to be a 10-8.
Yeah, exactly. And again, the second round was relatively close until that public warning.
Nice, clean body shots, but getting a word from the referee about the heads coming in close. He's busy, isn't he? He's quite an officious type. Carl Frampton giving encouragement at ringside for Martin Murray, also trained by Jamie.
I tell you what, the referee's right on this Garcia's case though, isn't he? Good right hand there from Garcia.
He's doing everything possible to really turn it into a brawl, and the referee's not letting him do it.
The jab as well there from Garcia, just beating Murray to the jab for the first time.
And let the punches go to the body when he got in range. Again, no great power on them, but he found the target.
Better from Murray there, just going up and down the body. Just needs that head movement, doesn't he, Garcia? He just slips and then comes back with a hook. It's good from him. Good again there from Garcia. Good doubling up with the left hook. Oh, good right hand from Murray off the ropes. Timed that lovely there, just on the move.
Garcia, the one on the front foot, though. Suggested before the fight began that was likely to be the case, and although there's quality coming back from Murray, the fact that he's the one relentlessly walking forward would always show Garcia as the aggressor, and that's a really good right hand from Garcia.
Just punched to the chest, and he just punched a little bit lower, and then made space for that right hand over the top there, Garcia.
Shows that he's a dangerous customer.
He starts moving his head coming forward, then he does really cause problems for Murray.
He's given him a few problems in this round, unquestionably.
Got to spin off those ropes, Martin Murray. That's the last place he needs to be.
Well, that's another tight round. 3 rounds completed. Unquestionably, the best punch that was landed in that round was this one from Garcia.
Good shot there. Murray just looking to hold on after that shot as well. This is the shot. Oh, that's a fantastic punch. Just dipped down as well, didn't he, just to get a bit more leverage on the shot.
Round 4.
So into the 4th round. And Roberto Garcia there on Barry's card, doing enough to win that last round.
Good little body assault there from Garcia. That's all he needs, is Matt Race. It's 3 straight punches and then just come off at an angle. Then pivot on the front foot or just take a step to the right. You've got to try and get back into the centre of that ring.
Talking to Murray in there, taunting him, Garcia. That's good.
So they're not heavy shots, but he's picking up the points, and they're scoring punches.
Another low one. Right hand was low, and the referee says keep him up. Murray responds in kind. It was in this fourth round that Gennady Golovkin put Martin Murray down. Garcia, though, is no Gennady Golovkin. Good body shots.
It's tit for tat in a minute, isn't it?
Tight fight, Barry.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, if that first round went the other way, didn't go to Martin Murray, and it was a close one, if that had gone the other way, you know, I mean, there's nothing in it, really. No response, of course, from the crowd when Garcia gets any sort of success. The only shouts you're hearing are from his literally handful of supporters and the corner. It's promoted by Don King. Don was supposed to be coming over, but he's not made the appearance.
It's good there from Murray, slipping a shot with the right uppercut to finish off.
Full-bodied, bearded figure on the other side of the ring, next to Frank Warren. A few people might recognise that's Nazim Hamed.
Oh, another too low body shot. He's got a. Well, you can't give a guy a public one, and then he does the same infringement. They're not giving him another one. I think he gave it too early, the public one. That was the problem for the referee.
Well, if he starts, dishing him out again, then he's looking at the possibility of a disqualification, which no referee likes doing, and a bit of a taunting smile from Garcia. That last round, Barry just about edging to Martin Murray.
Yeah, I just think he finished. It was a close round again, John. I just think he finished a little bit stronger, that's all. He had a bit more success to finish the round off.
Well, they're low.
They are low.
No question.
But the referee gave a public one too early, I think, and that's, luckily he didn't give another one then.
Fifth round, Martin Murray ahead on Barry's card. And the key round, that second, where Garcia did have that point deducted for low punches.
And even that was a close round, the second round up until that point.
Murray by 3 on Barry's card. Heads going in.
Shot.
Been pretty much training for this for about 7 months, you know, Martin Murray.
Well, not for this one, but no, good from Garcia, lovely work. Got to get close the gap quicker here, Garcia. When he gets close, you know, he has the better success of the two. Just takes too many coming forward. That's better. Most of them block mine, but at least he's letting his hands go.
Better boxing skills, though, from Murray.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
What a foray into the super middleweights, Martin Murray, and lost fairly painfully to George Groves. Oliver Harrison said to him after that, get back to middleweight or I don't want to know about training anymore. Reputedly, I don't have that on tape, but that's what I understand was the gist of the conversation.
It's good there from Murray. And the light shots, but again scoring punchable. Garcia responds to the right hand.
Good work. Good boxing skills from Murray. Shake of the head from Garcia, as much as to say it's not hurt me, but it may not have hurt him, but they were getting through and they were scoring shots and they'll catch the eyes of the judges.
The right hand there from Garcia again. There's more weight on his punches, that's for sure.
Not been a lot of them, though. Not in this round. Not enough. Not for me, anyway. Finish that attack with a lovely hook to the body, Murray. It's a good shot from Garcia, though, through the guard. Corner getting very animated at every success he has. And wanting him to throw punches to the body, the Garcia corner.
He just takes too long to get to the target, Garcia. That's really his only problem. The lack of head movement and walking forward. Good left hook there from Murray. And again, the better punches from Garcia, but Murray's just been busier with his hands.
Yeah, there's just not been enough of them, have there?
Well, good finish though from Garcia.
Yeah, good finish, but I don't see how you can make an argument that Garcia wins the round.
Talking about, give me a little more water here. I got that round. Look, that's the round that you need all the time. You pushing the action like that, he can't get done. You see how you starting to let those hands go?
Yeah, he's got to do more, and they know it.
It's a lovely combination there from Murray. Well, he's putting the right pressure on Garcia, but he just quickens his feet up a little bit, moves his head coming forward. Then some of these closer rounds, he's nicking. But for me, I just think that Murray's work in the centre of the ring, even though they're light the punches, I think he's just doing more of it.
And on Barry's card now, the 4 points distance. And we're not even at the halfway stage of the fight yet.
10 seconds. Second out, round 6.
Garcia needs a big round. Big fights out there for Martin Murray at world level, at British level. I bet Mark Heffron, who looked so good recently and is moving up towards that sort of level, I bet he's keeping an eye on this one, thinking, I wouldn't mind a go up to Martin Murray at some stage.
There's only one way he's looking, Murray. He's looking for the world title, isn't he? That's the only place he's looking for.
That's the one he wants, yeah. He wants Golovkin again.
It's in a fight here, though. That's good work from Murray again. It's that same combination every time, the 1-2 and then the left hook to the body.
And again, the sneer and the smirk from Garcia saying it's done nothing to me, but it might not have done anything to him, but they've got through and they're scoring punches. And that is the name of the game.
It's a little bit more weight on the jab though, Martin Murray, maybe. Because Garcia is right in front of him, so I think if he could time it right to step behind it, really push the head back of Garcia.
Big left hook to the body.
Couple of low shots there though from Murray, I think. But again, he's outworked Garcia for half of the round again.
He looks just, and the head goes in, and the referee's going to have another word with him here and say, you know, if you take the law into your own hands, you're going to get another point taken away. Murray as well gets spoken to. Garcia just a bit one-paced, Barry.
Yeah, he is. His feet are not. No, he does some good work when he gets in close, and he makes the fight competitive. But his feet are too slow. He takes too many coming forward. And he's one of these fighters. He probably don't. He shrugs him out because he's not getting hurt. Because there's not enough weight behind him really to worry him. So he probably doesn't count him in his head.
Well, there'd been a handful in the old days of timeless fights, wouldn't he? He'd have gone on forever, this guy.
But Murray's doing a stronger jab. I think as the round goes on, he starts to tire a little bit.
Oh, it's lovely from Murray. Quality work to the body. The head's going in.
Just constant complaining, isn't it? That's lovely. Good work. Again, they're not hard shots, but they're scoring punches. But in the centre of the ring.
Great example of hit and don't be hit. Better from Garcia. But no great speed or snap.
Yeah, and he's waited too late again in this round.
Well, that's a clear round for Martin Murray, isn't it?
Oh, massive round, easily a round from Martin Murray. Probably as clear as one yet.
And looking fairly comfortable now. More comfortable than a few people thought it was going to be.
That can't keep going on though. See, the referee put himself in a bad position giving that public warning so early. Again, he's I don't think it's intentional, it's just head down and he's swinging.
Or even when you throw the 1-2, when you come in here, you're going, yeah? And once you find yourself in that pocket, you won't see this coming as much. Breathe. Last half, this round, give us a shout, yeah?
Corners, 10 seconds.
Use some angles. Stop staying in front of him.
Seconds out, round.
Is he starting to look a bit discouraged by what's happening there? 7th round, and once again, I said it earlier, but Garcia needs a big round. Murray looks as though he's boxing his way to a very clear points lead here.
Well, the first 4 rounds were all pretty close, except for obviously the public warning in the second, but they were all very competitive. But the last 2 rounds of Murray's, he's not dominating, but he's been clear winners, I think, for the last couple of rounds. What one needs to do is when he throws that 1-2, he goes back in straight line. Just throw that 1-2, just pivot on the front foot, then go back. Just means Garcia's got to turn before he tries to walk you down. He should bring more space and time to move.
Well, you saw an example, that left hook finishing the combination. That's precisely what Jamie Moore was asking him to deliver.
It's better from.
Oh, that's ridiculously low. I mean, that is just so low. It's and not a word from the referee. And we gets one back.
No, that was intentional.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. Not quite on what David Hay referred to as the jewels, but it was significantly low of the target area.
It's good from Garcia there. Nice little assault with the right hand to finish.
Another one looked as though it was south of the border from Murray.
Again, good right hand there from Garcia. Being a little bit more assertive in this round. Still walking in straight line, still not moving his head, but he's clicking his feet up just a little bit.
He's got to start racking up some rounds. Needs, well, on my way of looking at it, he needs pretty much everything from here on in. The bindings come loose around that left glove or that left wrist of Martin Murray. Minute to go. Referee's not spotted it yet, I don't think. Now he has he? Yeah, he has. Subdued sort of crowd. Murray was expecting a physical test rather than the slightly more cerebral questions which would have been posed by Billy Joe Saunders.
He's had a good round, hasn't he, Garcia?
He has. Maybe his best. Well, it's his best for a while.
Yeah. That's a good response there from Martin Murray, and again.
Garcia beaten to the punch again by that right hand, and he's finishing off with some really high quality hooks, particularly from the left side, Martin Murray.
Loaded up on that shot, missed and almost threw himself to the floor there, Garcia.
Well, he must know now that he's got to put Murray down. He's got to win some huge rounds if he's going to somehow take this one and retain his title.
Well, I still thought he'd done enough, Garcia, there, just to nick that.
Murray dominated the last minute, didn't he? This is the work from Murray.
Another little low with the left hook there as well from Martin Murray. But not as low as that, John.
Men across the country wincing.
Again, Garcia did exactly the same thing he does in every round, except his feet were a little bit faster. That's all. That was the only difference. And it was still a tight round, but I thought the first 2 minutes he did enough.
Last minute was Martin Murray's, and sometimes dominating the closing stages, it's the old Prozac, and that can sometimes get the attention of the judges.
And in a close round where you're not sure where it's going to go, then finishing on a flurry is always a good thing. It's a 3-minute round, not a 30-second round.
Sure. But I mean, there've been great exponents of that in the past. I mean, Arthur Abraham, they had a career of it.
Sugar Ray Leonard was a master of it.
The inbuilt clock in the head.
I haven't quite caught fire, is it, John?
No, not really. It's it's certainly not been what I anticipated. I thought it would be more of a firecracker than it has been. A few boos from the crowd.
Well, I don't know what he's warning him for. It's one of the only times he gets caught, Murray, when he sits on the ropes. Heads again, though, close.
Garcia keeps ploughing forward, doesn't he? Edging the last round on Barry's card and putting another big effort in here. The Tex-Mex, as they call him.
Oh, good shot.
Took it well, though. But he's hurt him, has he? He suggests not, as much as to say, is that all you've got?
He felt it, but he's not in trouble, that's for sure.
More body shots right on the border from Garcia. Murray protests to the referee.
Good body shot there from Murray there. Nice little dip at the shoulder.
Hard fight, though, isn't it, Barry? It's a tough one. Still more than 4 rounds to go.
Oh, lovely combination there from Garcia.
Yeah, good work. Won the last round, and he's certainly giving a decent account for himself in this round as well. That right hand looks as though it might have gone low, and then bringing an uppercut in, which was partially blocked.
Again, another really close round, but except for that big right hand, I thought Garcia did the more work and the better work as well.
You see that work right there? That's the work that you need to do. In the inside, let those hands go. We don't got to wait for nothing hard. You see, you pick up the pace like you just did, and you just keep touching with stuff. You think, come on, that's the same thing we need to do.
Well, they sense that maybe things are just turning their way a little bit. That's the punch of the round.
Oh, it's a fantastic right hand there from Murray. And it was a close one, and he felt it for sure, but I don't think he was in any trouble. I think Garcia was busier in that round, much busier. Lovely combination there from Martin Murray.
Corners at 10 seconds.
Moving now towards the 9th round.
Round 9.
Has Garcia done enough to have edged those last 2? If so, the gap is narrowing. Murray, the man with the height advantage and with the slight reach advantage. Similar in terms of experience. Garcia, been a pro an awful long time. 2001 he turned over.
Again, most of that being blocked, but he's willing to let his hands go. He's also got the bit between his teeth now, Garcia. That's good from Murray, though. To be fair, both of them are blocking most of the attacks from either one. Murray blocking most of his attacks with his groin protector.
Yeah, I'm losing count of how many times that both guys have hit each other low. The referee's almost given up warning about it, hasn't he?
Just like to see Murray just put a bit more weight on the jab, though. You know, I think that just stops Garcia in his track then when he's walking forward. You haven't got to go looking for him. You know what it is? He's right in front of you.
Fitness is going to be called to account now. We're coming down towards the championship rounds.
Didn't the referee say break?
Well, he's protesting here, Murray, saying that the referee said break. Well, certainly that's the way he interpreted it.
He said something for sure.
Dropped his hands, Murray, and Garcia landed 2 or 3 free shots.
Sneaky little move there from Garcia, just using the shoulder to get a bit of space to the left hook.
Almost apologetic, some of the instructions from the referee, aren't they? Not sort of quite, hey old boy, would you mind stepping back? But it was not not exactly Sergeant Major stuff, was it?
Nice left to the body from Murray. You've got to move off then. You score your punches, you've got to take that little pivot, little spin off.
Here again in the closing stages of the round, who's going to catch the eye with the last attack? Garcia on the front foot, but Murray making him miss.
I don't know what the referee's doing. He's
taking another point away.
Well, that's the fight lost for Garcia now, isn't it?
This referee has not done a great job, has he? It's been a difficult one to ref, to be fair, as we suggested it was going to be before it even got underway. But
it's been scrappy, but no, and in a close round now, usually you end up giving that to Murray. That's another 10-8 round.
Well, that may well have determined the outcome of the fight. If it was in doubt, and you can see by the body language of Garcia, he knows it. That's where he said Murray thought he'd said break.
But he puts his arm in the middle as well, John, as if to break him up almost. So, you know, I think that the referee's not the strongest, is he?
Well, here's the point deduction. Is that a foul meriting a point off?
I don't know whether it was punching after he said break. I don't know. Well, I'll be on the head.
I said around the back of the head.
I don't know.
Well, I'm not convinced. That's how Barry's got it. By 5 points to Martin Murray. In which case, he's going to have to knock him out now, Garcia, if he's going to hold on to his belt. And knock him down at least, knock him out preferably. Garcia just having a word with him.
Well, those 2 public warnings have ruined the fight for him, haven't they? He had a chance.
Well, if it was
it back, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it could have been close, couldn't it? But with the 2 points away.
Well, that last round was close, so that could have technically been a 9-9 round. If you would have thought Garcia actually was winning the round on merit until the public warning.
Could have been. I'll bet you it wasn't, though.
No. And a couple of those early rounds could have gone Garcia's way, but those 2 public warnings have ruined it for him.
That's good for him, Murray. Letting his punches go impressively. Oh, hello. You try that and I'll give it you back. Murray telling him in no uncertain terms. Could be a feisty last few minutes to this fight.
Good right hand there from Garcia, mind.
I think you could have another 12 rounds then. I don't think we'd see a knockout.
Shot from Garcia, left hook and a right hand over the top.
The right hand.
A little bit busier again, isn't he?
He is. He's got to find a punch to put Murray away.
I thought he was getting some momentum in the 7th, 8th round. Garcia clicking his feet up a little bit. But the lack of head movement has just made it not easy for Murray, but made Murray could just pick him off as he come forward.
Fight's not been a thing of beauty, has it? It's another left hook, which is somewhere that's nearer to his knees than his waist.
I don't know what the referee's doing.
Nice uppercut inside from Murray. A great chin, Garcia, though, hasn't he?
Yeah.
You can see, even if he doesn't win this fight, you can see how Garcia has been so difficult to beat for so long and how he's kept this undefeated record going from often.
He's physically strong, isn't he? And, he's rugged and takes a good shot.
Tough as old boots, isn't he?
You can't give a guy a one of hitting behind the head and then warn him after about hitting behind the head.
Garcia might have won this round, Barry.
Yeah, he has for me, John, definitely. And that just confirms with that last little right hand.
2 rounds remaining. Judges will have to be seeing something very different to what we've been seeing, though, if it's going to go against the man from St Helens.
It's the same combination for me every time. That once the left, right, and then the dipping down with the left hook to the body. And for those little taps on the back of the head, it almost, you don't really say much about those sort of things. I think the referee made a rod for his own back, warning Garcia early with that body shots, and now he's, every time Garcia throws a low body shot, he should be taking a point off.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Mixture of Spanish and English in the Garcia corner.
Second out, round 11.
Some good old-fashioned Lancastrian in the Murray corner.
It's been out for a long time, Matt Murray, and it's nice workout for him, to be fair.
It's a nice solid right hand from Garcia. Referee's going to have to do something about that binding around the right wrist of Martin Murray.
The urgency now is all on Garcia. He's the one who's got to take that massive gamble now.
And he's got to find a huge punch, hasn't he? He's not really, despite having a lot of stoppage wins on his record, he's not really got Murray in any sort of real trouble, even when he's landed flush with the occasional big right hand.
No, neither one's been in trouble with any top power from either fighter.
It's good from Garcia. Switching attack from body to head effectively, but he needs to find a knockout punch, and it doesn't look as though it's coming. Well, we think he needs to find a knockout punch. But, sometimes don't like to second guess judges too closely, do you? Do get some bizarre ones on occasion. Nice from Murray, working well off the ropes.
Flashes of good work as Matt. I don't think it's been a vintage performance by him, but he's shown flashes of good work, being out the ring for a long time.
Well, I'll tell you what sometimes works against fighters, Barry, when they get the postponements. Okay, it's a totally different style of opponent he's facing as well, but he's been training for such a long time. You can overtrain.
Yeah, of course, more massively, of course you can. It's good though from Murray. He did have to take a left hand. I still think so far Garcia has been the busier of the two.
Well, he could be mounting a bit of a revival over these last rounds, but oh goodness, he needs it. But even if he wins the last three, he's still behind on the way we're seeing it.
Low there with 2 body shots over to Ken Garcia, and again.
It's a mess of a fight, and it's becoming more and more untidy. You scored that, Garcia?
I did, yeah. Again, another close shot. I just think he was a busier than the one pushing forward.
Going backwards, roll thing, and then roll instead.
Here's some work from Martin Murray.
Well, all the better work and throughout the fight has come from Martin Murray. Let's be honest, the flashier combinations. He just, I think there hasn't been that much weight on some of the shots, and he's been a little bit conservative with some of his work at times.
Left hook. Hit him with the left hook. He can walk right back into the right hand. Are you listening?
3 points to Murry, says Barry. So if you take those 2 points away from that tally, it becomes close.
Well, it does, but also some of those rounds could have gone somebody, so it could be even wider. I think a lot of the rounds have been like that, but you could just literally swing either way.
And last round.
The last round, it's been tough, it's been grueling, it's not been a classic. And once again, Garcia straight onto the front foot. Oh, good shot. Nice right hand in there from Garcia.
What Murray's lacked in this fight is a real solid jab. I keep saying it, but it's true. He's needed that. He would have stopped this kid right in his tracks.
He will keep coming. This is going to be 3 minutes of aggression from Roberto Garcia. And yet another low blow, the up-team low blow. And again, the referee does nothing.
Well, he's got to disqualify him, that's why. If he does anything, he has to disqualify him.
A big right hand from Garcia into the side of Murray's head. And Garcia is getting to him in this last round.
What?
And again. I tell you what, the referee wants to be careful getting in the way there. He could take one, and he's not got a protector. I don't think. Well, I'm not sure what that was about. I think that was supposed to be tidy your act.
Very good right hand there from Garcia.
It's all Garcia this last round, Barry.
Well, Murray probably feels he's just got to stay on his feet to win.
Another left hook low from Garcia. And one back from Murray. Remember when Andrew Gallotta got slung out against Riddick Budd? I don't think he landed as many as this. That started a riot. Thankfully, there's not going to be anything like that here tonight. We move into the last minute of this fight.
Well, he's finished the fight stronger than expected, Garcia, but it's too little too late. And Murray's, I think Murray's realised that he had the fight in the bag and just cruised his way to the last few rounds. But he's been out for a long time, he got to work out.
What's the referee doing
here
there as well? I mean, he got in the way again.
And there's continuous low blows as well.
Oh, dear me.
That's a point. He's got to give a point, because that's intentional. I know Murray's frustrated because he's getting hit between the legs.
No, he's not taking one away. I'm glad you see the funny side of it. I've got water in my eyes watching. The referee, Hector Afu from Panama, has not had a great night. And there's the final bell. Murray's fans celebrate. They're confident that he's done enough. Rough old fight. Tough man, Roberto Garcia. But those 2 points deducted have counted against him, and it would now be a major upset and a major shock if the final tally didn't go in Martin Murray's direction.
Yeah, I think he's just done enough, to be honest. I don't think it was vintage Martin Murray by any stretch of the imagination. And I think he faltered a little bit down the stretch. Whether he just thought he had the fight in the bag, who knows. But and I just think he lacked a little bit of a solid jab. But no, I think he did some classy work at stages, Garcia.
Garcia take the last 3 rounds?
Yeah, he did. And I thought, but the only clear round he won there was the last. I think the 10th and 11th could have gone either way, but the last one he won clear. So it could be a lot different. But there's no love lost between them, that's for sure. So
no, I don't think they'll be exchanging Christmas cards for the rest of their career.
Well, even though in the ring now, the trainers are arguing with each other.
Security up there as well, keeping them apart. They don't want to see any sort of dust up at this stage. And there's arguments going on between the 2 trainers still. A messy fight, not fought in the greatest of spirits. The referee didn't help.
Oh, the referee was terrible, let's be honest. There was no clear instruction. That's why Murray had to take a few shots, and and then Murray was retaliating with shots low because the referee gave that public warning too early, I feel, for Garcia.
At last, there's 1 or 2 hugs from the corner men to their opposite numbers. Finally, a bit more of a sporting atmosphere in there, in one of the roughest and most untidy fights I've seen for an awful long time.
Scrappy. I just think the animosity, obviously in the way, and just spilled over to the fight. And I think Garcia is dirty by nature, the way he fights. He comes forward, the lower fight, and hit. And Murray won't stand for that, as we all know, and was giving back his own. And I think their heads clashed quite a lot, so it ended up being a little bit of a scrappy fight, and not the fight that maybe we hoped was going to happen. But
and it got to the stage with the referee doing nothing about it, where the fighters were taking matters into their own hands.
Yes, but the most important thing is, with all the mess about that Murray's had, he got a fight, and he's got a payday, and I think he's got the win, as I'm sure he has. And then he hopefully moves on and he'll be a better performer if he's going to fight. If he's going to fight Billy Joe Saunders or Golovkin or whoever's going to pick up that IBF title.
Well, I think we can now go into the ring. The fighters are being drawn together. Garcia is still protesting to the referee, and there's some bad blood continuing in there, even as we speak. But Thomas Triber has got the result there. Thomas, take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Francisco Ayosta scores it 116 to 111. Judge Pedrad Alexic scores it 118 to 109. And Judge John Kane scores it 118 to 108. All in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. And new WBC Silver Middleweight Champion, Martin Murray.
Judges scoring it very widely, 2 of them, one by a margin of 9 rounds, another, the British referee John Keane, by 10 rounds, 118, 108, third closer to what Barry saw, it's 116, 111, but no doubting the result. And the new WBC Silver Middleweight Champion, the belt being wrapped around his waist. And the new champion is Martin Murray.
Thanks, John. Ugly but effective, I guess you'd have to say. Wide margin, certainly, according to 2 of those 3 judges. Heaven knows what the score would have been without those 2 points deducted as well. Would have been even more one-sided. Did you see it that one-sided, David Hay?
Not that one-sided. There was a clear winner. Murray won the fight clearly. A few problems Garcia posed for him. The constant pressure, the low blows, the roughhouse tactics, the shots round the side of the head. But the right guy won. Murray won it. I would say comfortably, but in those last couple of rounds, there was nothing comfortable about the way Garcia was pressing the action. The referee had a tough night in there, not his best night. I've seen him in better efforts than that. Deducting a point straight away, it seemed, and then allowing another 200 or 300 low blows to land without saying anything. So it's a tough night for Murray, but he got the win, which is most important. And obviously the hard preparations, the pulled out opponents, and the psychological sort of unrest he would have had in the lead up to the fight, I'm sure he's just glad to get this win under his belt.
Yeah, we did say, Richie, he spent all these months preparing for a different type of opponent. This one was awkward in every way.
Couldn't have been any different, could it?
Oh, very, very strong, and probably stronger than what most people thought. Certainly stronger than what we thought. Just kept coming. I thought the referee, he did have an awful night, because he set the standard by taking the point straight away, and then obviously both boxers were committing fouls. I think Garcia was committing more than Murray, but he kept coming, Garcia, and he kept hitting low, but the referee then didn't penalise him for it. So poor performance from him. I mean, that isn't even that's just high on the leg, if anything. So yeah, bad performance from the referee, but give Garcia credit. Kept coming. I thought the problem for Martin Murray tonight was his jab wasn't as effective as it normally is, and he also, I mean, that's a terrific right hand. He put some good shots together, but occasionally, too often, he let himself drift to the ropes. When this happens, his feet come square, and then you invite Garcia to come forward and work the body. So he'd been out the ring for 9 months, let's not forget that, Steve, and it showed a little bit, but he's got over the line, and it's a win that he needed.
And sometimes when you've got a guy that's this short, and therefore he's always fighting guys that are taller than him, he's brilliant at cutting that ground down. And it doesn't give you a lot of time to get your jab working. To get your jab working, you've got to take a step back. As soon as you take a step back, he's on you again. He's all over you. He swarms over you. Sure, there were low blows, there were elbows. I'd like to have seen no points taken off from any of them, because you know what? They were both doing it. They were both guilty of elbows. They were both guilty of manhandling, back of the head shots. And Martin Murray's low blow in the last round. Whew, I tell you what, there's plenty of venues around the world. He wouldn't have got a yellow card. He'd have got a straight red for that. He got the 12 rounds. He probably could have done with 8 rounds tonight, because that was really, really hard.
It was, and I can't imagine many fighters have looked good beating Roberto Garcia. Yeah, he doesn't make it that way.
He has a very awkward style. He has a short body, long arms, and he's got a real canny way of tucking up and riding shots, taking shots. Very difficult to hit with more than one clean successive shot. I can see why he's got such a good record and why he's been brought in on late notice before and caused the upset. If Murray wasn't world class tonight, he could have had a really hard night. I can imagine this Garcia causing some young upstart, some young middleweight prospect, all kinds of problems. So tonight, I'm just happy that Murray got the victory. He won. He's not marked up. He hasn't got any cuts, and he lives to fight another day.
Bit like England, Tunisia, really, and the Germans tonight. Job done. Let's hear from Martin. He's with Ronald.
Martin, you're with the entire Team Murray here. You've got your trainer, Jamie Moore, your son, Archie, your daughter, Amelia. She's got the WBC silver title that you've just won with a mature, professional performance against a rugged competitor. How satisfying is it to get that strap and that win?
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank Roberto Garcia and his team for coming over, giving me the opportunity. And I also want to apologise for yesterday at the incident at the weigh-in. I want to apologise to himself, his team, the WBC, the British Boxing Board under control. Things got a little bit heated. I was hungry, I was tired, I was on my way, I was ready to fight. There was a bit of snarling backstage, a bit of snarling on stage, and I lost my head, and I want to apologise for that. But yeah, I want to thank my team, Jamie Moore, Nigel Travis, all the boys, my support, my strength and conditioner, Bitters, my physio, Pinker, Andrew McKyle, my full team. I want to thank them, the amazing support I've got, the support I've got on social media, everything. I can't thank everybody enough, so I just want to say thanks to everyone for that. Really happy with the performance. We knew what it was about. We knew it was tough. We knew it was rugged. We knew he was going to come all day. Me and Jay had a chat in the changing rooms, and it was just about keeping a cool head. We knew he would come in with his head. We knew he'd come in low, and it was just about, like you said, a mature performance. Just putting the rounds in the bank and winning, which we did easy.
Given everything that had gone on in the build-up, the cancellations and a little bit of a spat on the weighing stage yesterday, the late change just prior to that, to what extent was this the test of your mentality and character as well as your skill?
Yeah, well, obviously, my life's been on hold for the past 6 months. I've had 2 training camps. Billy Joe pulled out, not once but twice. We had this late replacement, complete opposite styles, but it was just about putting a mature performance in. I'm an experienced campaigner. I've been around a long time now, and I knew what I needed to do to win. It was just about getting the win here today, and keeping myself in there for bigger fights, which I've done.
You most certainly had, because the word is, if you make a successful defence of this WBC silver title, it makes you the mandatory for the WBC title which Gennady Golovkin has. Now, he's got a date coming up, the rematch with Canelo. If a contest was made between you and Billy Joe again. Given what's happened to this point, how closely would you consider taking on that contest for the WBO belt?
Well, listen, you know, he's not done it once, he's done it twice. And for me to do that again, there'd have to be some type of insurance policy in place, because you can't trust the man. You cannot trust him. You know, I do this for these. I do this for my family. I do this for a living. You know, I don't want a celebrity lifestyle. I do this for my family. You know, I think he loves being world champion, doesn't defend his belts, love the celebrity status. I'm not. I'm a family man. I'm a fighting man. If there was an insurance policy in place for me to fight him, I'll do it again. And like you said, in that controlled performance, listen, he's a couple of steps above him, but I dealt with him easy, and I'm an experienced campaigner. I've fought the best. I'm not like him. I fight the best. I'm a fighting man. I fight the best. And if I fought him tonight, he'd get the same. I would take him to school.
As you say, you're a fighter's fighter. 4 world title shots. We know how dubious a couple of decisions have been over on the road. Felix Sturm, Sergio Martinez comes to mind. How deeply, how brightly does the desire to become a world champion still burn at this stage of your career?
I won't be doing it like I'm doing it now if I didn't believe that there was still a world title in me. You know, like I said, I do it for my family, but I do want to be world champion. I've been so close a couple of times before, and I know I will get there. I just need the right fight at the right time. You know, I'm the best fighter mentally and physically I've ever been. And I know that there's a world title in me. I just need the right fight, the right opportunity at the right time. That's it.
Well, congratulations on a performance tonight. You've got that WBC silver title, and we look forward to your next outing in the ring, whenever that may be. Well done indeed.
Yeah, thank you. Can I just add before I go, I want to say a big thanks to my beautiful wife Gemma, who's there behind the camera, and also a big thanks to Oliver Addison at home. Oliver, I love you, mate. Hope everything's okay, and thanks for everything.
Warm sentiments, which we all echo. Thank you very much indeed, Martin.
Yes.
Well done.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah, well said, Martin Murray. But Bunsey, therein lies the rub for him. Obviously, at his age, with his experience, he's desperate for another world title shot. That might have to be Billy Joe if Golovkin can't be made.
Yeah, if Billy Joe doesn't get some kind of assurance that he gets the winner of Canelo Alvarez and Golovkin on September 15th, then it will have to go back to that. And what's happened inadvertently, because they didn't start out to be at each other's throats, but because of a couple of things, Billy Joe Saunders against Martin Murray now is a bigger fight than it was when it was announced back in January, and a bigger fight when it was re-announced about 3 months ago. Now it's a big fight. But he's absolutely right. He can't do another 7 or 8 or 9 months. It's that simple. And Billy knows it as well. Billy's not conning anybody. It's just things have not gone right. Billy would want the fight as much as Martin would want it.
We'll see. We'll see. As ever in boxing, there's mist to clear before we find out what's what. But, of course, we'll keep you posted. And there's plenty more live sport, of course, from BT Sport over the next few days. Live coverage of the FIH Hockey Champions Trophy continues all week on BT Sport as the top 6 teams in the world battle for a place in next Sunday's final. Tennis and the world's leading players look to get their grass court season off to a flying start in the final of tomorrow's Women's Mallorca Open, live on 2HD. Then at 5:30 on ESPN HD, the IndyCar Series resumes with the 10th race of its 17-race series over the 220-mile road course, that in Wisconsin, America. And on Monday night, we are live from 7:30 at the Monmore Green Stadium as Wolverhampton Wolves host the Leicester Lions, that in Speedway's GB Premiership. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, on Saturday, we're back in Belfast for the homecoming of the hometown hero, Michael Conlon.
I feel like I have something in me which is a bit special.
The fighting pride of Belfast, Northern Ireland.
My goal is to be Ireland's greatest ever fighter.
Michael Conlon.
My dad brought my older brothers to the gym, and I think they were getting in a bit of trouble in the street, so he brought them to the gym, and I just wanted to be like my big brothers, like any little kid does, so that's the reason I got into the sport. My big brother, Jamie, was always just pushing me forward all the time. He's a warrior and he has a huge heart when he's in the ring. He is definitely still someone I look up to. When you go to the Olympic Games, the whole world is watching. It's the biggest sporting event in the world, so you know, when I was there, it was fantastic. I don't regret anything I did or anything I said, and my opinion doesn't change what happened in the fight and how I thought it went. But when I look back on it, I look back differently, and I look back at probably one of the greatest moments of my career, because it kind of gave me a springboard onto the world stage in pro boxing, and everybody knew my name before I'd even turned professional. So I definitely think it's a blessing in disguise. I've had a great training camp, I've had great sparring and top quality opponents. I'm really looking forward to June 30th. The fact that I've done the Garden and this main event, it's all kind of built me for this, and it's given me a good setup going into Belfast. The atmosphere is crazy. I've experienced it many times as a fan, but this time it'll be me walking out of centre of attention, and with that kind of crazy atmosphere behind me, it's going to be special, but I feel that I'm ready for it.
Michael Conlon, trained now by Adam Booth, no less. David Hayes, old trainer, live at the Belfast SSE Arena. That on June the 30th, a week's time, the former amateur star making an emotional homecoming after his first 7 fights of his professional career have, of course, been in front of sellout crowds abroad in New York, Chicago and Brisbane, no less. Great undercard action, as you can see as well, with the rematch of the 2014 Irish Fight of the Year, John O'Carroll and Declan Geraghty, and the unbeaten former British champion Jack Catterall travelling to face hometown favourite Tyrone McKenna. And of course, August 18th, Carl Frampton and Luke Jackson. That big night in Belfast. Tyson Fury also on that bill. That all live on BT Sport in the weeks and months to come. David A, highlight of the night, maybe Daniel Dubois and Anthony Yarde?
Yeah, I like Daniel Dubois. I really like Yarde. I really like what Yarde did. You know, he answered a lot of the questions that all of us were talking about beforehand. He's fighting, a tall Polish southpaw, an opponent you wouldn't ordinarily pick. But his team picked him, and he showed why he picked someone so awkward. And he looked fantastic. He put his punches together. He showed great power. The short left hooks, the timing, the distance, the balance. Everything seemed exactly where it needs to be to move on to the next level. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the future progresses with Yarde.
Yeah, steps forward for all, not least O'Hara Davies. Maybe shot of the night from O'Hara.
Absolutely. I think there was improvements with Dubois, with Anthony Yarde, but the shot of the night, the punch of the night, has to go to O'Hara Davies. Good performance, tricky man indeed. First round, very, very on his back foot, just having a look, and then the second round produces a tremendous shot, it really was. And then Martin Murray at the end there, he's got over the line psychologically coming into this contest. It was difficult for him. He was against a tough opponent, and he's done it. He's got over the line.
They've all ticked their boxes tonight, haven't they? The fighters on Frank Warren's side of the fence. It's now the matches that can be made for them moving forward.
Absolutely, that's spot on, because we talked there. What does Murray do now? Does he hold out for that fight with Billy Joe Saunders? Does he look for a defence and make himself mandatory with Golovkin? Question mark there. What about Daniel Dubois? That was a good performance tonight and patient. But the other 10, 15 heavyweights, they're hard fights in Britain. So you have to make a decision there. Anthony Yarde certainly moved up a step. The bottom line is, up there's about 15 unbelievable light heavyweights. He's going to have to fight one of them soon. And then O'Hara Davies, okay? He's not everybody's cup of tea. Let's get that right. I've got a soft spot for the kid. What we saw tonight, that was a little bit special from the boy.
Thank you, Monty, as always. Richie and David, lovely to have you along. We are done then here at the O2. An excellent fight night in the end without the elephant in the room, Billy Joe Saunders. Martin Murray does take our belt from Roberto Garcia and steps forward, as we've discussed, for O'Hara Davies, for Anthony Yarde and Daniel Dubois. Thanks for your company.